I really wish that when it came down to the marriage aspect of things, that we did have a lot of the older couples mentoring us. I really wish that we had the couples telling us that when this person was laid off their job, how stressful it was financially, because where many of us are not prepared for it. I really wish that the couples would come from and say, you know what, my spouse cheated, but we were able to get things back on track. I really wish that we could be real about what we're facing and the things and the insecurities and the trust issues. And here's something for all of us to think about. When someone cheats in the marriage and then they come home, there's always in the back of the other person's mind, will they do this again? It is going to always be, why did they do this? Am I not good enough? What did I do to deserve this? See, it's nothing like doing all of the right things, but then you're getting the opposite of results. It's nothing like being the best wife or the best husband that you can be, and your spouse decides that they don't want you anymore. And then when they get tired of being in the streets, see, when the streets have used them, abused them, broke them down, and showed them that this is not what you want, then they want to come back home. And most of them act like business is normal. They want to walk back in the door like they supposed to have their slippers, bath water ready, and dinner on the stove. Most of the women want to come back home and just come back and assume their rightful positions, not even dealing with the hurt and the pain that they have caused you. So here you are again, you're dealing with the trust issues. And one thing that I find is prevalent is the person that cheated will always say the person they cheated on is insecure. They will always mention to them that you got problems, you don't this and you don't that. Did not understand that the reason that person is insecure is because of your selfish acts. Not understanding the reason that they're doubting themselves and their confidence level has slipped in, their self-esteem is not the same because of the way that you treated them. See, some of us are in this thing for real, and then some of us are in this thing to play. But those that are in this thing for real, know that if the person you gave yourself to turn around and do something like that, baby, it takes all but Jesus to keep you from going upside their head and telling them where they should go. So I want the parents, the grandparents, those that have been married for years and years to step forth and tell us that, you know what, guys, marriage is a beautiful thing, but marriage is what you make it. You're going to have the peaks and the valleys, the highs and the lows. There are going to be times when you're going to lay right in the bed next to the person and you're not going to like them. It's going to be times when you lay right in the bed with them, and even though y'all can bond on a lot of areas, you may still feel alone. See, there are times in these marriages that we find ourselves in that we doubt, did we marry the right person? Did I marry the right person? Did I make the right decision? Did I miss out on something? Did I get on the bus too soon? Can we be honest tonight about our marriages? Can we come forth with the real and be truthful? Because as we take this walk of marriage and we talk about to death do us part, it ain't to death do us part. It's until the next person that look good to us come, and then we want to start talking to them. So here it is, we're finding ourselves not being what it is we said we were going to be in the beginning. We're now trying to get things back on track with the brokenness. We're trying to get things back on track with the bitterness and the anger and the rage and the frustration and all of the pain that you have caused me, not to even touch down on the embarrassment and the shame. See, I told my family members how you did me, and now I feel so bad because I told them, but I let you back in. Now I'm feeling so embarrassed and ashamed because here it is, you turned around. Not only did you sleep with somebody, but you slept with somebody I knew or somebody in the family. See, those are the things that we have to come on, because these are some of the reasons why people are what? Married but living single. So we have to embrace the change that is going to happen. We have to embrace the person that may have stepped out. And now that that person is ready to come back, we have to embrace forgiveness. And forgiving someone for something can be one of the most challenging things to do. Forgiving yourself for staying and allowing it to happen is one of the most challenging things to do. Did your spouse cheat on you and have a child, and now you have to look at this child when they come over every other weekend? Did your spouse cheat on you and co-sign for somebody to get a vehicle, and now half they check is being garnished? Did your spouse go out here and create something that now they can't get out of, and because you standing still with them, you're not willing to let it go and you're going to fight with them? See, that's the level of embarrassment and the level of shame that I'm talking about. But now we're back together and we're doing our best to make this work. So now we have to be honest about what we feel. And see, everyone is not ready for honesty until it's time for them to be honest. So I have to listen to what you say. I have to listen to all of your feelings without saying a word. Yes. I have to listen to the things that you felt that were bothersome to you, the times that I did not allow you to be a man, or the times that I didn't allow you to be a woman. See, now I got to sit here and I have to listen to all of those things because of I want to get this thing back on track. But one word that is going to be key in everything that we do and in every relationship that we have, and that key word is compromise. Do you love your spouse enough to compromise? Do you love your spouse enough to get things back on track? Do you love your spouse enough to say, you know what, I'm going to leave everything behind? I want to tell you guys something. I married my husband back in the year of 2000. At that time, realized I married the right person, but at the wrong time. This man was ready, but I was not. And it wasn't that I wasn't ready, but there were a lot of things that I still needed to be healed from. There was a lot of things that I still felt like I wanted to do. So what I ended up doing is saying, you know what, this is not for me no more. Not realizing that the person that I had was from the Lord and was a part of it. And again, when God gives you your spouse, God is not giving you your spouse based on your right now. He's giving you your spouse based on where you are going. So many times we're in a lot of these marriages and we're saying we grow apart. We're growing apart because you were never on the same page to begin with. So as you are now realizing that I was with the right person at the wrong time, and I'm talking to different people, and they were some good people, guys. I'm not going to sit here and bash them. They were good people. But I still didn't feel that they had what he had. And what was so different about him is he knew who I was, not in the Teresa that everybody else see, but he understood where I was coming from. He was willing to help me through my childhood tragedies. He was willing to understand who I was in God. See, some of us are dealing with people that don't even understand. They understand us in the natural, but they don't understand us in the spirit. So when you walking around the house and you praying in tongues, they asking you, why you praying so much? When you walking around the house and you saying that you're going to do a 24-hour or 48 fast, they can't get on the same page only because they're not spiritually connected to you. So not only are they not spiritually connected to you, you fighting a battle in the natural and you're fighting a battle in the spirit because you're dealing with somebody that don't understand your God and ain't trying to understand your God. But he understood. So here it is. I had success. You know, I did some things in my life. I wrote a book. I've had some shows. I've been on TV. I did some things in my life. But then I was at the highest level and got knocked down on my feet. And when I did that, I started to see things for what they were. Because you understand who's in your corner when you're sick, when you're broke, and when you lose it all. So now I'm like, God, I did marry the right person, but at the wrong time. It took me 11 years, y'all, of praying for this man to come back to me. It took me 11 years of fasting and dealing with different people to see that what I had is what I needed all along, but I didn't want it back. So now that we are back together, I understand that marriage is work, y'all. You have to put in the work. You have to be willing to put in the time, and you have to be willing to put in the effort. Many of us that went to school and you have a college degree, you went to school for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, sometimes 10 years, depending on what your education is. We stayed up at night. We crammed for exams, pop quizzes, and everything else. We were prepared for the test that we was about to take. But when we talk about marriage, we're not prepared. We're not putting in the time. We're not sacrificing. We're not being understanding. We're not being patient. We want everything our way. We're not listening to what they're saying and what they're not saying. Our relationships with our spouses are so unique. And it bothers me when people say, I'm going to be by myself. And the reason it bothers me is because God says in his word that it's not good for man to be alone. So if God is saying to us that it's not good for man to be alone, and he says in his word that two is better than one, for when one falls down, he can lift the other up, what makes us think that we are an island unto ourselves? What makes us think that we're not supposed to be with our soulmate, or we're not supposed to be with somebody that he has for us? I don't want to see my brothers and my sisters continue to live but continue to hurt. I don't want to hear about another marriage that is going to go through divorce and you didn't spend $50,000 for a wedding. I don't want to hear about another lady say, well, I'm married, but my husband do his thing and I do mine. I don't want to hear that. It's almost one of those things that when you go out there and you dibble and you dabble and you halfway inch back to who you used to be and how you used to behave, only to find that the person at home was what you needed all the time. Only to find out that the person that you cussed out, the person that you mistreated, the person that you scandalized, the person you came against is the person that you were supposed to be with the whole time. Guys, let's do all that we can. Let's put in the effort. Let's have a listening ear without judging. And one of my biggest mistakes is I was so judgmental. I was judgmental because I felt that if you wasn't in a certain caliber, or you didn't do a certain thing, that you weren't supposed to be with me. My husband and I are completely different. I am the life of a party. I'm that bubbly person. I'm the person that go in and speak to everybody. My husband is the one who is laid back and he observes. But what I found out is this: while I'm engaging, he is watching. He's able to detect what I can't detect. He's able to see what I can't see. So just because your spouse is not like you does not mean that they're not for you. Just because your spouse do things and operate a little bit different than what you're used to or what it is you feel like you should have does not mean that that person is not for you. Let's stop throwing away the people that we said I do to. Let's stop playing games with people's emotions and their minds and feelings just because you still got it. And hear me this. A lot of people feel because they got a top flight job, you drive the best of cars, and you got it going on, that you can have whoever you want when you want it. And you know what? It's true. But everything gets tired, baby, and everything gets old. So don't mistreat the person that had your back when you had nothing at all. Don't mistreat the person who went through the labor complications to give you a child and you turn around and leave them. Don't mistreat the person that helped you start your business, and the minute your business got on your feet, you start sleeping with your secretary. Don't mistreat the person that was with you from the lows to the highs and in between. Don't do that. Love on them. And if you feel that right now you are in a position where you're married but living single, pray for them. Pray for them. Stand with them. Get you some women and some men that are married and stood the test of time to stand in the gap with you, that'll be there with you when you're ready to give up, to still say no. Hold on to your love. Hold on to your passion. Hold on to your homie, lover, friend. Hold on to your boo thing. Don't give them up so fast, guys. And most of all, stop being married but living single. Guys, I really appreciate you tuning in to me in regards to Married But Living Single. My name is Terlisa Gartley Brown, and I am the host of Real Talk with Terlisa that comes on every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Guys, I'm also on Facebook under Real Talk with Terlisa, the real that you can feel. And I'm also on Instagram, Real Talk with Terlisa, the real that you can feel. If there are topics that you guys want us to discuss, please send them to me. This is what it's about. Together, we have the ability, with God's help, to heal each other and to be better. And I pray that unity, that understanding, that patience and love will find its way right back into your homes and into your marriages. And what God has put together, let no man, family, friend, outside, boo, side piece, whatever, tear you down. Let God bring it together, let it keep it together, and let's grow in love and faith. I love you guys, and I will see you next time on Real Talk with Terlisa.